Howdy folks, it's Ultra here and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. We are 84% done with the Appalachian Summit's bush trip, and we are going to finish the bush trip today. The final two legs, 12 and 13. And those of you who watched the previous videos know that we have been fighting with trees for every single landing. Hopefully these last two are normal, and let's get going. That's all the introduction you get. Alright, first thing you're going to do is come down and repair and refuel like I say every single time. In the previous video, the last leg of the previous video, I did remember to change fuel tanks. I totally didn't mention it, but I should have, because that's something I forget to do normally. But we did do it, and it worked. So there you go. Let's go there. Let's hop outside and see where they put us. Oh yeah, we do not need to turn around. We can just take off. Yep. Okie dokie. Let's see here. What do we need to do? We need to read about where we're going. And quick one, 16 minutes. Triple Point, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland. From Garrett County Airport past the town of Friendsville to reach the three-way border. Friendsville three-way. Okay. Maryland, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. 3.5 minutes to get there. 332 degrees. Let's do that. 332 degrees. And then we'll read about the next thing as we get there. For this video, we will do sightseeing without my voice, just because I've done a lot of talking in the past couple videos. So here we go. We're going to go out, turn around. 3 minutes. 3.5 minutes? 3.5 minutes. Okie dokie. Very cool. Parking brake is either on or off. I don't know. It's different every time. And now it's on. Okay. There we go. Hit it once, it's on. Hit it twice, it's on. Hit it 3 times, it's on. And my toe is still broken, of course. My left pinky toe, so I'm having a hard time on the rudders. I cannot find a spot on my foot to use the rudder pedals that doesn't hurt my toe. So we are not going to travel very straight on the ground. There we go. Brakes at the top of the wheels, flaps coming, or brakes coming, brakes. Gear coming up, flaps coming in. And let's hand fly for a moment while we set up autopilot. We'll do 6,000 feet. That's been working fabulously. Flight director. Now, or not nav, heading. Heading, turn off nav, thank you. Heading, there we go. Vertical speed, 1,100 feet per minute. And autopilot, there we go. The reason why I use autopilot with heading bug is so we can sightsee. And let's start the timer now, although it might be a little soon because you have to turn around. If I weren't making video content, I would probably hand fly all of it. But it's hard to sightsee and stuff when we don't have autopilot going. So we use autopilot with heading bug. There we go. There is our airport, and there's our perfect turn back to the desired heading for the friendly three-way. Never thought I'd say that in Flight Simulator, but hey, we've said some other weird things in Flight Simulator. Although it's not like being a parent. You say and do things as a parent that you never thought you would say and do. Happens to all of us. Alrighty, how slow are we getting? Oh, we're good. We are good, and we're going to do this for 3.5 minutes. So I assume you've seen other bush trip videos of mine before, since this is the middle of a bush trip. So I'm just going to turn you to sightseeing. I'm going to remember to breathe, and you should already know what's going on. See a little bit. Okay, we're there ahead of schedule. Let's hop outside, and there's Friendsville. Where is it? Right there. There is Friendsville. So we're in Pennsylvania now. This is in Maryland, and West Virginia's right there. So if you think of Maryland, if you think of the left part of Maryland, there's that little hook thing. This is that little hook thing. So we came from West Virginia, we just passed over Maryland, now we're in Pennsylvania. Just like that. Bam. That's how fast that happened. Alrighty, so let's reset the timer because we're way ahead of schedule. And we're going to go 83 degrees, so let's get that going right now, and then we'll read about it because we are ahead. way ahead. Come on, don't play this game with me. Way ahead. 83 degrees. Let's look back in Friendsville. We can't. There it is. Anyway, 83 degrees. What are we doing? Turn to the northeast, flying over Yohayini River, and then past the town of Addison to reach High Point Lake, a small reservoir just north of Mount Davis, and then right away, same heading pretty much, and right away, Mount Davis. Continuing past High Point Lake to Mount Davis, the highest mountain in Pennsylvania, 3,230 feet above sea level. The real, that's about 5 minutes away. Total, have we started the timer yet? We have, and I assume we're just heading to this reservoir right there. One of those two, and then there's a mountain right next to it. Seems pretty simple. Doesn't look very high, but we are cruising at 6,000 feet. Okay, I will see you in a couple minutes, I guess. I lost track of what I was doing. I literally just stepped away for 2 hours just now, and now I'm trying to seamlessly come back, and it can't be seamless, so I just have to admit it. I've been gone for 2 hours. I had to take care of some stuff while I pause the sim. So, yeah, I guess we're going to a reservoir and a mountain. See you in a minute. Alright, in that last bit of sightseeing, you saw both the mountain and High Point Lake. Let's look again together. High Point Lake, right there. Reservoir. And the mountain is right here. There we go. That's it. That's simple. Alright, what is next? We are going to turn 121 degrees for 5 minutes. So let's restart that, and let's turn 121 degrees, which isn't that much of a difference, but it's enough, because remember, for every degree you're off, you can be off by 60 miles in a mile or something like that. In an hour, I mean. Something crazy. So each degree is important. 5 minutes, though. And we're going to go to Mount Savage, past the town of Salisbury, and then cross into Maryland to reach the town of Mount Savage, which lies on the banks of Jennings Run, a small river. So in 5 minutes, we're going to see Mount Savage. Let's look around together briefly as we go over Mount Davis. There it is. See it? Boom. And there's roads in the lookout there. See? That must be a lookout spot or makeout spot or something. Alrighty. Cool. Alright, I'll see you in 5 minutes at Mount Davis. Alright, I know I said Mount Davis at the end of that last commentary, but it's Mount Savage, which we're coming up on right now, in the front of the nose. We went over the town of Salisbury, which was a tiny town. But let's prepare for the next thing. So 2 minutes out, and then right after that we have airport. So we got Cumberland, passed to the north of Piney Mountain to reach Cumberland, a historic city located on the north branch of the Potomac River. The topography around Cumberland made it a strategic point and thus a location of great significance for George Washington to establish an outpost during the French and Indian War, and years later served as an important highway route and canal nexus. And then right after that is Cumberland Regional Airport, which is what again? Bravo Echo. So do we see it right there in front of us? So we don't do a whole lot of changes here, so let's just stop the timer. We know where we're going. But to see what we want, we need to go 126 degrees, which isn't much of a change. So there we go. We're going to fly to historic town, which is right next to the airport. You can see it in the picture here, right there. Bam. Big airport too with multiple runways. So we will fly this here for a moment and then land. If we do this right, we can fly straight in. I don't really see it though, but it's there somewhere. So let's get ready for the approach. We're looking for a city as well as the airport for a penultimate leg. Oh, there it is right there. How can you miss that? There's the city right there. There's the airport right there. We're going to fly straight in if we can. Anyway, penultimate leg. And should be pretty smooth here. We've had plenty of drama. Plenty of landing drama on this trip, which is kind of a bummer. But that's just how it is sometimes. We're here for the scenery anyway. I had the airport. Now I don't quite make out the orientation between these hills here. As long as there isn't a tree on the end of the runway, doggone it, because that really chaps my hide. Because I avoid the trees, but then I end up swooping down and smacking in the ground. Look at this right here. Look at that bridge, the highway. Oh, this is great. There's the town. Oh my gosh, these little freezes are so strange. I don't quite understand what's going on. But anywho, yeah, there's the airport right there. I see it again. Let's see, how are we going to enter it? I know there's multiple runways. Maybe we want to take this bigger runway right here, a more normal runway. And then we might not have to worry about trees. And if there is a tree there, we'll have plenty of space to go over it and land instead of go over it and dive out of panic. Yeah. I'm just enjoying this. All this kind of green. They're supposed to be getting rid of the green. But, it's still green. This is beautiful. Oh, I guess that runway from that end would work, but I don't want to deal with that. Let's take the long runway. What looks to be a long runway, I think. As long as we keep our altitude and speed okay, we can do a short final there because it's a long runway. Maybe. Has to be. Let's look. Whoops. Let's look at our nav log here. Yeah. Long runway. This long one right here. I know what I'm doing. I pretend I know what I'm doing. We're getting kind of low as I say that. Looking good. Let's keep an eye on things. That must be a high school, huh? Top of the hill. If we do this, we should be able to land with the short final here coming over the city. So let's get this going. Look at that. Man, can you imagine having these in the background like this? Look at this. Wow. Highway. Oh, it's not green anymore. They cleaned it up over there. Oh, come on. Stop stalling. Alright, here we go. Gear coming down. Ta-da. I was getting carried away by the scenery and we almost crashed into the ground. I'll admit it. I'll admit it. First set of flaps are out already. Try to keep an eye on that speed while we keep our head out the window here. And full flap, even though it might be a little early. Keep an eye on our speed because we're going to stall soon. Remember, this thing stalls at like 75. You'd think I would be able to figure that out by now. Look at that. A normal landing. Nothing in the way. Oh my goodness. Very windy all of a sudden. That's kind of weird. Whatever. I do want to get around that electric tower, although I'm sure that won't be that. I don't think that would be an object if I hit that. But we're not going to find out, so we're going to go off to the side of it. See what I'm talking about? Right there. See it? There we go. We went off to the side, so I wouldn't hit that thing. Now we're just going to take advantage and straighten back out now that we went around the radio tower, the electric tower. Power tower? Tower of power. And there we go. Kiss the ground ever so gently. Oh, it never stalled that time. What? Okay, and if you're wondering why we're waving around, my toe is still broken, obviously. So I have to 1 foot my rudder pedals, which doesn't work very well. That was weird. It didn't have the stall horn until like 58. So why was that different? Anyway, alrighty. That was weird, but we got it. Hopefully I don't need my foot too much on the last landing, because here we go, last leg of the trip. Alright, come down here, repair and refill for the last time on this trip. There we go. Zoom this out a little bit. And now I'm confused because we never heard the stall horn until touchdown. I'm confused. I don't understand. I don't get it. Maybe I'm taking this too seriously. I don't know. Let's set up autopilot super quickly. Let's go 6,000 again. It's been perfect. Flight director, use heading bug, vertical speed, 1,100 feet per minute. There we go. And where are we going? What are we doing? Where are we headed? Let's get the timer ready to go because we're going to need it. Final leg. I think this is the final leg. Yep. Warrior Mountain. From the airport, head east gently, over gently rolling Appalachian lowlands to Warrior Mountain. 2 minutes out, 97 degrees. Not 98 degrees. That's my sister's favorite boy band. 97 degrees. Their favorite sister band. I have no idea. Okay. Warrior Mountain. And then we'll read about the next thing. Okie dokie. Do we need to taxi, or do we have enough space? I think we need a taxi. Yeah, we better taxi. So which way do we need to go? We need to go behind us anyway, so let's just taxi this way. And turn around and take off. Whoa, what was that weirdness? Alright, that should be enough space. It was a difficult taxi with 1 foot. But we got it. I think. Why won't this slow down? There we go. Good grief. So what's the time once we take off? 2 minutes and 13 seconds. And yet again, we will use autopilot to hold the headings. We can look around. Same thing, different leg. And here we go, plenty of space. I feel like we're kind of back to normal here. And up we go. Doo-doo-doo. Brakes to stop the wheels. What is with these pauses? Gear coming up. Flaps coming in. We'll gain a little bit of speed here before we climb. We have plenty of runway before we have trees to worry about. There's the runway end. Let's turn on the timer. And we won't do autopilot yet. I want to look around for a moment while we hand fly. And what do we do in 2 minutes? I think we can clear this terrain here without going around. I think we can. I think we can. We're going plenty fast with airspeed, so let's go up a little bit. Climb, climb, climb. There we go, we're good. Cool. Alright, we'll set autopilot in a minute here. I just want to hand fly for just a moment longer and enjoy this with you. And we'll turn to sightseeing in just a second. Here we go. Autopilot, handoff so smooth, couldn't even tell. Okie dokie. That's where we came from. Oh, I love how the rail and the road go around that, but that's because the rail can only go so sharply. And there's the airport. Very cool. And there's the city. Ooh, you can see the power line row too, right through here. Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. Okie dokie. We're going to head to Warrior Mountain in just a moment or two, so it's probably this one. So I guess I'm not really going to turn you to sightseeing. We'll just stick together here and discuss what we see along the way, because we're almost there. Definitely have the rolling hills they're talking about. Very accurate description for sure. Alright, Warrior Mountain is right here, so let's read about the next thing while we approach to it. There's 98 degrees for almost 4 minutes to Little Orleans. Sight the unwinding upper Potomac River from Warrior Mountain, passing over Little Orleans, which lies on its banks. So there's a winding river. We're going to go 1 more degree to the east, southeast, I guess. And it's a little bit off. It always does that. And 4 minutes or so, but we know it's the river. So wherever we intersect the river, that'll be Little Orleans. And I will simply see you there. I did look up on Google Maps where it is, and it's right here. So that's Little Orleans. It's the second hump. See, there's the first hump and second hump. And then the rest of the humps like hands. It's right here. So there you go. We found it, or, you know, with help of modern tools, we found it. And we're going to read about the next thing while we reset the timer because we're ahead now. There we go. 94 degrees. Okay, kind of a straight line. Not a big deal. For 5 minutes. Continue on course passing over the Upper Potomac River. Okay, so we're just going to follow all this here for 5 minutes. And then we'll do another little change to 101 degrees to Hagerstown, one of the most distinctive layouts of any city in the world, as its divisions are defined by exposed ridges of the Appalachian bedrock throughout. Alright, so we're going to do this. 5 minutes, I'm going to change it to 101, and I'll see you, though, at Hagerstown and enjoy the sightseeing in between. Alright, we're going by Hagerstown now. We're a little to the north, unfortunately, so we're not going to get the super cool perspective of, like, the mountains forcing the shape, although, I mean, there it is right there, so I don't really understand that anyway. Mountains force the shape of it. I guess maybe if you zoomed out and looked at it from, like, an earth map, you would see how the hills make it a certain shape, but from 4,000 feet above sea level, it just looks like a regular town to me. But there you go. There's Hagerstown, very, very famous city, of course. Let's restart the timer here, and now where are we headed? We're headed to Catoctin Mountain. Continue on an eastward heading. Whoops, we have to 100 degrees. We have to move a whole 1 degree back. There we go. And we look at the town. Continue on an eastward heading from Hagerstown to Catoctin Mountain, one of the most subtly beautiful parts of the Appalachians, featuring low rolling mountains that are heavily forested. This is the vicinity of Camp David Presidential Retreat, chosen in part for its pleasant conditions and rustic Appalachian setting. If you have a toilet, it's not rustic. Comes from camping days. Alrighty, so 4 minutes on that, and then we'll turn to Frederick Airport, or Frederick Municipal Airport, at the end, 5 minutes away. So we'll go the 4 minutes. I'll change our final heading, look for the airport, and meet you when it is time to land. I was going to find a way to land. When we land the airplane, I will see you in about 15 minutes my time, just a minute or two yours. Alright, I know I only got like 2 sightseeing segments in there for that entire stretch, but it was a lot of the same thing, and we just, you know, are ready to land this thing after this bush trip. So I covered the mountain, whatever that was called, that we're supposed to look at, Cocktail Mountain. I got that in the sightseeing, and then some of the town. But now we're going to land for the final time on the Appalachian Summit bush trip. One of my favorites. It started, okay, let's put it this way. The first 3/4 of it, favorite bush trip for sure. But then it got to be a little too much of the same thing. So I don't think we needed to have that section where we backtracked. If you look on the overall map, if we ever do this bush trip, you see there's a section in the middle where you actually backtrack to catch a few more sights and then go forward. They could have made you go directly there instead of backtrack to it, and then it would have saved a few legs, I think. But I don't know, got to be a little long, a little bit much of the same thing. And those tree landings, sorry, I'm looking at the traffic under the wing, that's amazing. Those trees up against the runway are a huge bummer. I know I can practice those specific airports and learn the best approach and when to drop down after the trees and all that, but we normally wouldn't be practicing landings at a specific airport on a bush trip. We just go from one to the other. So that was kind of disappointing, but it's not the fault of the, well, maybe it is the fault of the sim, because maybe they can put exclusion zones around the airport so trees can't auto-generate up against the airports. There's another simulator that I used to build airports for, and that's exactly what we would do. So, yeah, I don't know. That's, anyway, I totally lost my thought. I was not just a good statement. It was a nice, bold statement. I totally forgot what I was going to say. It's the fibromyalgia thing. It's real. It's a real deal, I'm telling you. Anyway, but yeah, so maybe they could do like exclusion zones or something, just not around every airport because that's too many. But if they do a bush trip, which is very specific and hand-tailored, they could be like, hey, let's put an exclusion zone around this airport so people don't complain on YouTube about crashing over trees. I'm done. I'm done with my venting. Let's stop the timer because it's flashing and I can't stand looking at it in the corner of my eye. And let's try to land an airplane. Full flap. Whoa, what the heck? I'll say full flap, but as soon as they hit the flap thing, it like nosedived. That's weird. We've never had that happen before in, what, 12 landings? Anywho, giving ourselves a very short final because we have a very long runway. No trees to worry about. Everything is forward on the yoke. And we're just going to, not forward on the yoke, while my 3 levers are on my yoke, but, you know, my 3 levers are forward because we had to get over that tree. Now I'm bringing throttle back. So we've been stalling around 72 knots or so, but this last leg we didn't stall at all and we touched down at 58. So I don't know what's going on, but we'll well, we stalled when we were lightly touching the ground, but we didn't stall on approach, so I don't know. Anyway, we're very high in the Vasti, but that's because I want to get over those trees. I'm totally paranoid of trees now. I gotta get over it. Our speed is good. We have an incredibly long runway. What is with these stalls the sim is doing? I don't understand. Happened 2 updates ago. When you watch this, there are probably 2 more updates. Hopefully it's been fixed. We will see. Going for those numbers. Good speed in theory. We'll see if the sim likes it. Round out a seat. Whatever, ground effects will save us. There we go. Oh, again, my left foot is broken. My left toe is broken, so the rudders did not cooperate because I'm right footing both directions on the rudders. I'm going up. Yeah, 1 foot the rudders didn't work, but whatever. Okay, there we go. Whoa, there we go. It's supposed to be 4 hours and 15 minutes or something like that. So that took me 2 hours longer than it was supposed to. I know there's a time in there when I paused it, but I didn't active pause. I paused, which doesn't count in time because we've tested that. Where I paused it for 8 hours and it did not count. So it really did take me 2 hours longer. I thought that felt kind of long. Anywho, one of my favorite bush trips. Got to be a little long there. Too much of the same thing at the end. I do not get along with the G36. I thought we were becoming friends. We're not friends. Worst landings I've done in any bush trip, I think. But we're not going to worry about that. Time to move on. Like and subscribe so you know when I upload the next bush trip or free flight or whatever I do next. You'll find out when I find out if you subscribe. And I'll see you then.